Welcome to NFL World, where NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob, and welcome to the 8th episode of the NFL Dream. In this episode, we are on a little road trip. We go to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, looking at all the free agency moves they made, which the Ravens are not a free agency team. That's not how they operate. They're a draft team, and they play really well. That's how they operate. They don't sign big-time free agents unless they're very low pricing, as we will get into. They're more, let's draft, let's re-sign our own guys. Maybe we go a little bit outside the organization, but that's it. They went outside a little bit here. They signed Jair Alexander, 1-year deal, very cheap, very little money for a guy who can play both inside and outside. DeAndre Hopkins, signed him to a 1-year deal, very cheap, very little money, has a lot of skins on the wall. He's been around, but he's been very good. He's been very talented. That's the reason he's been good for teams. Bringing him in, helping with Zay Flowers and Bateman and all those guys they got, that's going to benefit them a lot. They brought in Cooper Rush. I don't know why. I don't think he really fits what they want to do on offense, but okay. They signed Jake Hummel, who is a free agent linebacker who plays on special teams. They also signed Chidobe Awuzie, who has the experience of being a starter. He's played in a Super Bowl. He knows what he's doing. Putting him there with Jair, Humphrey, the loss of Brandon Stevens does not benefit anyone, but it gives experience to that room, which is very, very much in need. They also re-signed Ronnie Stanley, Patrick Ricard, and Tylan Wallace. So Stanley plays left tackle. You secure your best offensive lineman. Ricard is fullback. You use a lot of fullback sets, so that's good. Wallace is a contributor. He helps on special teams. He's a depth receiver. He does a lot of those things. So you want to bring those guys back. Now, jumping into what they did in the draft, and they always draft well. And every year we get to the first round, they draft the best SEC player available that's still there. And that was Malachi Stokes. They draft the safety out of Georgia. He was there at pick 27. They said, okay, because he can do all kinds of little things. He can play some strong safety. He can play some free safety. Pairing him with Hamilton, my gosh, that's mortifying. You're like, holy cow, you're going to wake up in like night sweats over here just watching these guys. Now, round pick they draft edge rusher Mike Green from Marshall. Let's talk a little bit about Mike Green briefly. He went to the University of Virginia, but he had a sexual assault allegation against him. But when he went to Virginia, zero tolerance policy agreement with University of Virginia. Well, then the second sexual assault allegation counts. We're not going to really let them know. They were just saying, you're signed. They weren't going to really let him go. They said, but you did sign it, and so, but we're not going to force you to leave. And he said, okay, well, I will leave because it's easier for everybody. So I'll leave. He goes to Marshall. He has a great season. He would have been a first-round draft pick had those allegations not been there. Which I do appreciate. The one thing he did do when we were doing the NFL draft and they were doing all the... Before, when you talk at the combine, the players sit up in front of all the media and they talk, and he went on his own and said, look, this is what happened. And he talked about it. Very many people will not talk about it, and he did. So you got to give props to them. And obviously, it checked out for enough the Ravens to take him in the second round. Then in the third round, they draft offensive tackle Emory Jones out of LSU. Okay, they have some tackle issues in Baltimore anyway. So plus with like Ronnie Stanley's health, he hasn't played a lot in recent years. He would be a good part to just put him in over there. He's fine. Fourth round pick, they draft inside linebacker Teddy, but I think it's Barshan, the inside linebacker out of California. Okay, they lost some linebackers in free agency. We'll get into that. So you're okay with that. Then they drafted in the fifth round Carson Vincent from Alabama A&M. He's an offensive tackle. Okay. Then they drafted in the sixth round cornerback, I think it's Balar Cone from Western Michigan. He actually kind of got a little nicked up, and he's going to miss 2025, which is very tragic. The kicker, round 6, Tyler Loop from Arizona. This was amidst of the Justin Tucker allegations that later got him cut by the Ravens. So I understand this. Then in another round 6 pick, they draft, I think it's LaJonte Wester, the wide receiver from Colorado. He's a special teamer, so maybe Wallace and him are jockeying for position, but maybe he can bring you something in that wide receiving room as well. Another round 6 pick, defensive tackle, Ernest Peoples, from Virginia Tech. Defensive tackle, you can get it at any point. If you can get it in the 6th round, you'll take it. You need just big guys do what the big guys do and just make everyone else redirect around them. And the last round 6 pick, because if I'm counting this correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, they had 5. Okay, they had 5. They drafted cornerback Robert Longerbeam from Rutgers. Honestly, I didn't watch any Rutgers tape. Hopefully, he's okay with that. And the last pick they had, round 7, they drafted another LSU offensive lineman in Garrett Dillinger. So they're trying to build up this offensive line, which is a good thing when you want to run the ball with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and all those guys. Now, the pieces they did lose, it's not so much of all the pieces they lost. They just didn't do a whole lot. We talked with the Justin Tucker about how he got released amidst with the ongoing investigation into the allegation time, very similar to Deshaun Watson. That's what I can say. Patrick McCarry signed with the Jaguars, so he's gone. Brandon Stevens left in free agency. He signed with the Jets. Malik Harrison signed with the rival Pittsburgh Steelers. Chris Board, I actually don't even know where Chris Board went, to be honest with you. They just said he departed, impacting the team's special teams. That's all it is listed, really. But I think they went and said, okay, he's leaving. He's been there for like years. He had been there for I think it's over 7, 8 years, something like that. So he'd been there for a while. So his loss is impactful. The Ravens in 2024 went 12-5, which is very similar to where I have their 2025 standings going to be. Because if you look at this schedule, they're at Buffalo in week 1. Then they're home for Cleveland, home for Detroit, at Kansas City, who I don't think offensively will have enough to pull out competitive games. Then they're home for Houston, home for the Rams, bye week 7, home for Chicago, at Miami, at Minnesota, at Cleveland, home for the Jets, at home for Cincinnati in late November, home for Pittsburgh, at Cincinnati in December 14. So they faced them twice in 3 weeks, but 3 straight rivalry games. Then they are home for New England, at Green Bay, and at Pittsburgh. Those last two games, especially the one in Green Bay, it's going to be cold. It's going to be hard for them to play, but their style does benefit that. For that style benefits the way they want to play in December, in January. So you'll take it. So I have their record being 12-5 again. I think they're going to give a lot of headaches the way they play their style. I'm actually really interested to see that Detroit game. The last time these two teams played, Detroit did not play very well. So I'm curious to see that game in week 3 on Monday Night Football, which would be very exciting. The things they got to work on for the Ravens, and the things they should be working on, I think. It's not so much, they'll make this letdown games. Of course, every team has a letdown game. Everyone understands that. Your offense doesn't show up, your defense doesn't show up, everything goes wrong. We all get it. It happens. It happens to everyone. But for the Ravens, it's really the playoffs that I'm concerned about. They become too pass-oriented. I mean, look at it. This is what I did. Okay, I grabbed Derrick Henry's stats from that Buffalo Bills game in the playoffs. He had 84 rushing yards. Okay, on 16 attempts, he had a touchdown. He was good. He was really good in that game. Yet why did he only have 16 touches? Why? Your best player, arguably your best player, should not have 16 touches. Should have more chances than 16 to tote the rock. Why is he only toting the rock 16 times in that game? In the biggest game of the season for you. That's a problem. They become way too pass-oriented. It shouldn't be this pass-oriented. When your best skill is to run the football and be aggressive and be physical aggressive. Why are you getting away from that? I just don't understand it. They got away. And it boggles my mind. They get away from it. Their best attribute is running the football. So run the football. The same thing goes for Lamar Jackson. Sometimes, in the regular season, you say, okay, maybe he runs the ball a little too much. But in the postseason, you're like, why is he throwing it so much? Why? He should run it more. Why do they change their offense in the postseason? It works. You can become a little more pass-oriented in the playoffs, but not go from giving the ball to Derrick Henry 25 times a game to 16. It's not good. It's not proactive as a team to do that. So I think that's their problem on offense. I really think it's an offensive problem more than a defensive problem. Because you were playing really good football. And even in that game against Buffalo, which was like a sheet of ice that you were underneath, you turned the ball over multiple times, fumbles, interceptions. You had plays that if you would have ran the ball, they weren't really stopping Derrick Henry consistently anyway. If you would have ran the ball with Derrick Henry, you would have been fine. If you would have ran the ball with Mitchell, you would have been you would have been okay. You would have kept the ball and you would have forced Josh Allen to just wait and wait and wait and make him have to use all of his defense. All the defense will get completely tired, and the defense is going to have to make a response every single time, which they're going to get tired very quickly, which keeps Josh Allen on the sidelines even longer. And that I say this a lot. Defense runs on energy, offense runs on momentum. If the offense isn't on the field a lot, they're losing their momentum. They lose their momentum. They can't gain the momentum, meaning you're doing your best job. You're doing what you got to do. And on the same side, you're keeping that defense tired. That defense is tired. So when that offense can't get momentum and they go 3 and out, or they go out, they're done in 6 plays because they can't move the ball and they have to punt. That defense is so gassed that they come back on the field and now they're making mistakes. So it makes your life a lot easier. So why get away from what works? It doesn't make sense. When you're a little kid, you're told this saying a lot. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, for whatever reason, the Ravens want to fix something that isn't broken. That's cause for concern. It's something that Todd Monken, Lamar Jackson have to get on the same page. And when it comes to the postseason. In the regular season, okay. Postseason, get on the same page. For NFL World, I'm Jacob Huber.